says, do you think UCLA is really a legit contender for our defensive coordinator? I know he's an alumni, but is the program not in shambles? I thought they had like $200 million in debt, and now they have severe staff issues across the board in the football program. You have to hope it's as bad as it seems from the outside, Nick, in some of the reports. You do, because I don't know how, and I said this yesterday on the show I think in the final hour, I was talking about how, so Nick, let's assume you're a Nole or any of you listening to this, if you're a Nole alumnus or just a diehard fan or whatever, if you were in the coaching profession and you were somewhere and you were an inspiring head coach in the making, and that's a goal you had in your life, and your alma mater or the school that you've always loved, you grew up rooting for, maybe you grew up in Tallahassee, whatever it is, approaches you and says, we need you to come home, man. We need help. We need this program to be in the hands of somebody who cares as much as you do. Now, that guy was a team captain at UCLA. He was a 3-year starter at linebacker. You know what kind of passion you have to be a 3-year starter at linebacker and become a team captain at that position. He cares deeply about UCLA. So it has to be so in shambles that you say that your agent says to you, Tony, I don't think this is a good move, man. I don't think you can win. No matter what you bring to the table, they're a mess. I don't think you can win. I think we got to pass. I think we should wait for something better. Right. Like, you have to hope, because otherwise, don't you think the heartstrings are just too much being pulled that way to ignore that offer?
It's definitely a factor. I don't know that it's a done deal. I mean, listen, there are plenty of people that went to a college,
right,
and have no desire to go back and coach at that college.
Sure.
Now, UCLA, theoretically, like, we think of UCLA because of the basketball, because of the tradition, the history. We think maybe it could be something special, but man, it's been a while.
It's been a long time
for football.
Yeah.
And then you've got those other issues. So yeah, I'm sure the heartstrings will be part of it, but I think he's also an upwardly mobile guy who wants to have a great career, wants to coach great players, wants to be ultra successful. Part of the reason he came to Florida State from Nebraska, and, I've talked about this summer, Nebraska offered him, he had opportunities to make more money and have a lot more control of things in different situations than if he came to Florida State. I think he's not pursued some head coaching jobs because he was trying to find the right situation. So I don't think he's looking at it strictly from, I can't wait to go back to UCLA.
And I agree with you. I think
it'll be a tough decision if they do offer him the job.
Yeah.
But again, I think there's a lot of reasons why you wouldn't take it. You'd feel more concerned about it, I think, if that was a great job. It's not a great job.
No, it's not a great job. Yeah, no, if he had played at USC and that job were open, you're dead. He's got to go to Southern Cal, It is weird, though, because they are amongst the haves, at least in the sense that the conference that they're now in.
Right. Except then you've got to play.
Yeah, you got to play Oregon. You got to play USC. You got to play Ohio State. You got to play Michigan. No, I agree with you. It's tough. Let's hope that they're in such a shambled state that, Walter says, good afternoon, winners. Next year, we will be preparing for Alabama and Tuscaloosa on the third Saturday of September. How do you feel about having played a few games prior to dealing with their revenge game? It'll be Alabama's revenge game.
Yeah, man, that's going to be it'll be fun for Florida State fans to go to a game in Tuscaloosa.
Awesome.
That's going to be really cool.
They're going to be pissed.
Yeah, I do think, I like, while you can sit here and look at this season right now and say, okay, well, what is it going to be next year? You are going to lose a lot of these guys and whatever, and we've seen that you can go from the highs to the lows really quickly. But I do think the fact that they've been recruiting, at that last class was a good recruiting class. This class should be a really good recruiting class. What they've done in the portal, and a lot of these guys can stay. Like, a lot of the guys on this team, it's not the whole team's one and done. There's a bunch of guys on this team that can come back next year. So I think Florida State's going to be a good team next year. Whether or not they're good enough to go win at Alabama will be questionable. We'll see. We don't know what Alabama's going to be. But if Ty Simpson's still there, they're going to have a returning quarterback who may end up being really, really good.
Gentlemen, traveling with FSU gear on is much better this year. This is from R.A. Noel. The knowing nods and admiration are back. I've been impressed with the effort our players carry out run fakes with, especially Cam Davis. Yeah, it's the little things, isn't it? It's the paying attention to detail. Right. It's the intensity and focus. It's being buttoned up in all aspects of the game, and that's true of starters and third and fourth stringers. So fans see that too. Everybody recognizes that. That's usually, not always, but that's usually the hallmark of a championship caliber team. Not saying that makes them a championship caliber team, but you see it a lot of times with teams that are both good but also play the game the right way.
Yeah, and Tim Jernigan in that article today brought it up again. He brought up the fact that he was looking, and those guys know what they're doing. Like looking at the defense, it's not just that they're physical.
You mean it's coordinated?
But they know what they're doing, and yeah, man, it especially when you see what again what we watched last year. It's such a stark contrast in terms of not just the physicality, but the buy-in, the attention to detail. One thing that was, again, Evan Cooper today, I encourage you to go watch that video, the safeties coach. He goes, you can see our guys are film junkies now. He's like, you'll see them walking around the building with their iPads, like watching film all the time. Well, you do that when you've got a taste of it. Like you're seeing the results, you believe the coaches, you believe what you're doing. And so, yeah, man, it's just you can't get enough of it.
There was a practice last year, and we were allowed, to go to practices. And there would be things that, because you only cover this team, sometimes you wonder,
this doesn't look right.
This doesn't look right, but I don't know. I'm not watching Clemson practice. But there were a couple of practices last year in particular, and I remember thinking, well, I want to go on the air and say this because I don't know. Maybe this is I sounded like an old man, sort of like, this is how soft we are these days. Right. But they were doing this drill for linebackers where they were weaving through the bags, and then you come up and tackle.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm talking about.
I mean, I watched Ernie Sims try to coach that drill and get frustrated by what.
Oh, my God. Ira, it was the worst. And I remember watching Adam Fuller begging guys to come up and wrap and make a hit. And it was patty cake. Right. And afterwards, it was like trying to infuse false confidence in them as if he knew they were broken, because he would run over and clap.
Just something encourage. Just find something to encourage.
Anything. They were just reaching for anything. And it was just the lowest level of, basic operation. And I remember thinking, well, that can't be good. But I don't know. Again, I'm not watching other practices. Is this how they do it now? But now look at this team and how hard they hit. And from what we heard, the way that they practice coming into this season in terms of actual, following through with the intensity and the focus about physicality that both coaches alluded to.
Right.
Malzahn brought it up. If we're going to be a run-first team, you got to bully people. And Tony White brought it up. You can't fake toughness. Got to hit.
And we'll get back to the questions, but Tom and I talked about this last time in the Smash a little bit. What do you think is going to happen in terms of, because Miami looks like a team that wants to bully you.
They want to hit too.
And this is a Florida State team that clearly does. How do you think that plays out?
Nasty. It plays out like it did in the 90s, where we're watching just a nasty game between two teams that hate each other and have a lot at stake. I think it's going to be as fun a Florida State-Miami game as we've seen in years and years and years, because I think both teams, now we don't know this for sure, but I think both teams are good.
And I feel like again, man, this is a team we cover, so we're going to be biased, whether we want to be or not. I feel like it's genuine. Like, I don't think this Florida State team is going to blink. When I talk about genuine, I don't talk about what they're going to execute or how great they're going to play, but just the willingness, just the fight
to meet that level.
I believe they're not going to blink.
No,
I'm curious about Miami. We'll see.
I don't think they'll blink.
We'll see. That'll be interesting to see.
I think that they'll.
Because then it comes down to, okay, who makes the plays? Yeah.
That's the fun part, because now you have a high level of intensity and physicality to a game that should always be played that way. And if both do it and they have a lot of talent, now you're talking about coaches, in-game decisions, adjustments, the things that you want to talk about in a football matchup. Like, we love when it's chess. We love when a guy's like, oh, we don't have to worry about the players. The players can play hard. They're all going to hit the hell out of each other when they can. Now what do I do to adjust to what you're doing? You've shut this down. Here's some of this. What do you do? What do we do in return? I love that.
Keep E in the chat says it's a 2 chin strap game.
Oh, yeah. No, there's nothing soft about that game. That's going to be fascinating.